In the world of K-dramas, beauty is almost as important as talent, and behind the perfect faces we see on screen, there's often a story no one imagines. Today you'll learn about the 10 most bizarre plastic surgery cases in K-drama history, with shocking transformations. And stay with me until the end because the last 2 names on this list are, without a doubt, the most impressive of all. You would never guess. When talking about K-drama heartthrobs, it's impossible not to think of Lee Min-ho. Owner of one of the most recognized faces in Asia, he has always been surrounded by surgery rumors, mainly regarding his nose, jaw, and even his eyes. The speculation gained momentum when old and current photos began circulating side by side, highlighting small differences in facial contour and volume. In 2011, a photo of him with doctors from a famous clinic set online forums ablaze, and many people swore it was disguised post-operation. The agency denied it, friends denied it, and he himself said his face swells easily and changes throughout the day. Even so, the internet doesn't forgive. Each new appearance becomes a millimeter audit. Some point to a more uniform nasal bridge, cleaner jawline, and less cheek fat. Others defend that it's angle, lighting, diet, and facial fat loss. The truth is that the magnetism hasn't changed. Min-ho crosses an airport and the hashtag trends. A teaser comes out, the comments turn into an anatomy lab. It's almost a parallel soap opera. Did he touch up to maintain the protagonist standard? In the end, what holds audiences is precisely this tension between myth and reality. If there was a scalpel, he raised the bar. If there wasn't, he proved that genetics, camera training, and maintenance are worth gold. Either way, Lee Min-ho continues being the standard, and any rumor about his face, however small, captures attention and increases replays. Park Min-young did what almost no one does. She spoke openly. The star of What's Wrong with Secretary Kim and Her Private Life admitted that, still in her teens, she had double eyelid surgery and corrected her nose that bothered her for being crooked. This honesty became her trademark and fuel for curiosity. Over the years, her face seemed to refine contours, maintain impeccable skin, and preserve a symmetry that Korea treats as a beauty standard. Result: every red carpet becomes a real-time X-ray. Fans and haters pause videos, compare angles, swear they see subtle adjustments. Min-young, however, rarely gives the buzz a stage. She focuses on work and delivers characters that stick. The public buys the fantasy and at the same time wants behind the scenes. What did she do? How does she maintain it? Is it just procedures or also discipline? The appeal for retention lies in this paradox. A muse who has already confirmed surgeries, but who continues being a reference even for those who criticize. Instead of running from the topic, she became the case study herself, constructed, sustained, and narrated beauty without drama. And that's why every new appearance ignites the debate again. In the end, it matters little whether it was scalpel, laser, or just a combo of skincare and perfect angles. Park Min-young delivers the look the industry desires, the character the audience loves, and the story that makes everyone watch until the last second. IU is a rare phenomenon. Few artists manage to be giants in music and equally relevant in K-dramas, but along with fame always came suspicions about her appearance. Early in her career, she already admitted she didn't like her own nose and even asked the agency for permission to have rhinoplasty. The request was accepted, but the surgeon allegedly refused after evaluating that her skin was too thin and the change would be minimal. This story, told by IU herself, only increased curiosity. Old photos show a more rounded face and soft features. Current ones reveal a more defined chin, more delicate nose, and eyes that seem more open. Critics attribute the changes to makeup, weight loss, and facial maturation. Others swear there's something more, even without confirmation. IU, on the other hand, never shied away from talking about insecurities, but avoids getting into the merit of did or didn't do it. And maybe that's exactly what keeps her magnetic. The mixture of brutal talent, impeccable image, and a slight mystery about how she maintains an appearance almost unchanged for over a decade. For fans and the curious, each comeback is more than music or acting. It's also a moment to analyze every detail of a face that became an icon and inspiration, feeding a debate that never ends. Rowoon built his career on 2 strengths: charisma and a visual considered perfect. Only, in recent years, this second pillar became the target of controversies. The turning point happened after his appearance at the Oscars, when a viral post compared his face to Kris Jenner's. Yes, the Kardashian clan matriarch. The montage highlighted similarities in cheek shape, nose, and lips, and the meme quickly lost its joking tone to become an accusation of excessive retouching. Fans came to his defense, but many admitted he looked different from dramas like Extraordinary You, when he displayed a more natural look. Rumors of rhinoplasty, chin adjustments, and even facial harmonization spread, reinforced by photos with harsh lighting that evidenced subtle changes. Rowoon never confirmed anything, preferring to keep the focus on work. Still, every public event becomes becomes trending topic on social media, with debates about how far an actor can go to fit the standard. The contrast between the Greek god from the beginning of his career and the more polished face of today feeds both curiosity and controversy. In the end, Rowoon continues being one of the most requested names, but with a detail. For part of the public, he's no longer just a heartthrob, but an example of how the search for perfection can rewrite even the most praised face. Yoon Eun-hye is one of those names that define the golden era of K-dramas. From Princess Hours to Coffee Prince, she became the national sweetheart. But along with the title came relentless scrutiny. Early on, before and after photos began popping up, and netizens noticed changes in nose shape, jawline, and even eye size. Yoon never confirmed procedures, but also never erased suspicions. The mystery grew because her appearance seemed to transform gradually, always maintaining an almost unreal harmony. The problem is that the transition coincided with career crisis moments. A plagiarism scandal in a fashion program and malicious rumors about her personal life made her name disappear from the radar for years. When she returned, the public noticed not only the new posture, but also a more frozen face, which reignited the debate about how much her image was molded to survive in the industry. For some, she's proof that visual reinvention can sustain relevance. For others, she's a classic case of how aesthetic pressure can steal the naturalness from an icon. Between truth and speculation, Yoon Eun-hye continues awakening curiosity, and each appearance is treated as an event, whether for talent, nostalgia, or the enigma she carries in her face. Seo Ye-ji seemed like a hurricane after It's Okay to Not Be Okay, conquering the public with a sharp visual and magnetic presence. But her trajectory, marked by scandals and mysteries, also includes persistent rumors about changes in appearance. Before fame, her features were softer and more discreet. Today, the face displays precise angles, thin nose, and a more open gaze. Speculation points to possible surgeries on eyelids, nose, and even facial contouring, although nothing has been confirmed. The controversy exploded when a supposed former colleague claimed she had procedures done while still in school and commented about it openly. The story divided fans. Some defend that the changes are the result of maturation and makeup. Others say the transformation is too drastic to be natural. Seo Ye-ji never spoke directly, preferring to maintain an air of mystery that, ironically, only feeds the theories. Her case shows how beauty, in Korea, is currency of the highest value, and how a perfect face can be both weapon and target. In the end, the mixture of talent, controversy, and supposed aesthetic reinvention makes each new project of hers observed in two layers, that of the character and that of the woman behind the scalpel or the rumors. Kim Hyun-joong was one of the biggest symbols of the boys over flowers era, and for a long time called a walking sculpture for the perfection of his features. But even this sculpture has been under the scalpel, according to the actor himself. He revealed that, as a child, he broke his nose after being hit by a stone, and during the correction, took advantage to adjust the shape. The admission was made with good humor, saying God gave the face, but the doctor did the finishing touches. Since then, every minimal change in his appearance becomes news. Apparently thinner nose, smoother skin, cleaner jawline. Fans defend that he only maintains care and skin treatments, while critics swear there were more touch-ups over the years. Between music, acting, and personal controversies that have already shaken his image, Kim Hyun-joong maintains the status of timeless heartthrob, and precisely because he acknowledged at least one surgery, any appearance of his is analyzed with a magnifying glass, making his face an eternal field of debate, partly out of curiosity, partly out of nostalgia for one of the biggest K-drama phenomena. With a delicate smile and soft voice, Yoo In-na is a striking presence in hits like Goblin and My Love from the Star, but her impeccable look also carries a history of speculation. Pre-debut photos show simpler features, with a slightly wider nose and less defined eyes. Netizens point to eyelid surgeries, nose refinement, and even jawline remodeling. Nothing was confirmed by her, and her posture has always been to focus on work, avoiding feeding rumors. Despite this, each new appearance in dramas or TV programs reignites the discussion. Would Yoo In-na just be reaping the fruits of good genes and skincare, or also aesthetic procedures? For fans, it matters little. She's a symbol of elegance and femininity, someone who seems not to age. For critics, her image is a perfect example of the Korean standard that actresses feel the need to achieve. This duality, between inspiration and suspicion, keeps her name trending, and makes any close-up in a scene more than acting. It's also real-time beauty analysis. Ye-seul is one of those actresses who never ran from the subject. On the contrary, she turned her sincerity into a trademark. Unlike most names in Korean entertainment, she has no problem admitting aesthetic procedures. She has openly talked about her eye surgery, done to correct droopy eyelids that, according to her, changed her expression and even hurt her gaze. Additionally, rumors of breast augmentation circulated for years, and although she never confirmed it, she always treated the topic lightly, even making jokes on variety shows. Han also shares on social media treatments she does for her skin, like ultrasound therapies to maintain firmness. In a more personal moment, she She even showed the painful process of removing an eyeliner tattoo, admitting she sought a more innocent and young look. This openness, however, doesn't exempt her from criticism. Some say she changed too much and lost part of the naturalness that made her unique. But for her fans, she's exactly the opposite. An example that publicly assuming aesthetic choices is an act of courage in an industry that pretends naturalness. Ye-seul, with her charm and frankness, proves that beauty and authenticity can coexist, even when the scalpel enters the scene. Tall, elegant, and with striking features, Da-hee always caught attention on red carpets and screens, whether in leading roles or as a judge on reality shows. But, along with the rise, came comparisons of old photos that would reveal considerable changes. Netizens point to a thinner and more projected nose, more open eyes, possibly the result of eyelid surgery, and even adjustments to facial contouring, whether through harmonization or more invasive procedures. Da-hee never confirmed publicly, but also doesn't seem bothered by the discussion. On TV programs, she has joked about her appearance and how the pressure to maintain a perfect look is constant, especially for tall women, who tend to be seen as models before even being actresses. Her current image is what many consider the apex of the Korean standard: impeccable skin, balanced features, and almost symmetrical proportions. Still, the public's fascination lies in trying to decipher where genetics end and where aesthetic intervention begins. And maybe it's precisely this mixture of mystery, talent, and millimetrically calculated beauty that keeps Da-hee always relevant, whether for fans, critics, or curious people who don't miss an opportunity to compare before and after.